Last month, London suffered its most devastating fire since the Blitz.
Get out! Get out! Fire!
These are the London firefighters who ran into the Grenfell Tower, risking their lives to try to save hundreds of people.
After 30 years in the London Fire Brigade, I didn't ever expect to see anything like that. And I pray to God I never will again.
This is the first time they've told their story.
You could hear people screaming for help. It was dreadful.
She needs help! I'm dead!
It was horrific. And it did mess me up a little bit, if I'm honest. Messed me up a little bit.
We have been following the London Fire Brigade over the last year.
In this day and age, you could be turning up to anything, from a gas explosion to a terrorist attack.
Extend!
As they responded to emergencies across the capital.
We need to get some water down here. Get down! We have a large possibility of an explosion.
For the first time, firefighters are wearing body cameras and filming themselves on the front line. We will see what they see.
Fire is a killer. It's a breathing, living thing.
These are the men and women whose job it is to run towards danger.
OK, gentlemen, you are getting this.
When most of us run away.
We had no intention of coming out of there until we'd saved as many people as we could. And if it was going to collapse, then we were going to die trying.
Hello, Fire Brigade.
All 999 calls for the London Fire Brigade come through a control centre in Merton, southwest London.
Fire Brigade.
At 12:54 a.m. on the 14th of June, an unusually high number of calls started coming in about an incident in West London. Multiple fire engines were dispatched to a fire in a fourth-floor flat in Grenfell Tower in North Kensington.
Jesus Christ, mate. Mate, that's not a real block of people in it.
So I was at home in bed before the call. A pager went off at 0118 to inform me of a flat fire at Grenfell Tower.
Borough Commander Richard Welsh was one of the first senior officers to arrive, whilst fire engines across London raced to the scene.
That's a real block. How is that possible?
It's jumped up all the way along the flats.
Initially they had 6 machines there, then they asked for 8, and then 10, and then 15, 20, and then 25. So I'm hearing that on the way there, so it's really clear that we've got something, quite a serious incident going on.
Oh my, can you believe this, bro?
I know Grenfell Tower, I've been there before. And as I was approaching it, I just knew we had probably the job of our lives on the go. Because already I could see fire from lower floors, and I couldn't believe I was looking at fire to the top floor.
Oh, this whole building's burning, man.
But never seen anything like that, ever. The fire was changing, it was moving rapidly.
Get out! Get out! Fire! Fire! Get out!
Someone right at the top, man. Bro, there's still people in the building. I know there's still people in the building.
At 1:30 in the morning, fire crews had been fighting the fire for over half an hour, and the scale of the challenge was becoming clear. Grenfell Tower was home to at least 350 people.
One of the first things I did was actually to clear out a major incident, because I knew we were going to need a lot of help.
You could hear people screaming for help.
Help her! Help her up there! She needs help up there!
There were people making signals for help.
He's made a rope from his blankets and he sent it down.
Personally, I could see faces at the window. I could see the torches and the calls for help.
Look, there's someone in the top with his chain in his leg. SOS, SOS.
It was dreadful. There's hundreds of people in there. Men, women, children are coming out. fully sooted, black. They'd been through a layer of smoke, in complete distress.
There were people running out who had lost contact with loved ones. Some people were even trying to get back in to try and get to their loved ones. There were firefighters who were bringing casualties down the staircase who were clearly exhausted, but wanted to get back in there and don't try and rescue more.
In a tower block incident, firefighters establish a bridgehead. This is an operational hub actually inside the building, 2 floors beneath the fire. It was from here Borough Commanders Richard Welsh and Pat Goulbourne helped run the operation.
Probably the busiest bridgehead I've ever seen. There was so much going on.
We had our hoses going up the staircase. We had people trying to get out and coming down the staircase. We got firefighters going up the staircase, and the staircase is filling with smoke. So the priority really was to try and reach the flats we knew we had people in. The issue we had was the intensity of the fire.
After a couple of hours, 40 fire engines and 200 firefighters were now on the scene. In parts of the building, the fire was reaching temperatures of 1,000 degrees.
It was dark, visibility was poor, it was hot, but the intensity of the heat was increasing rapidly, floor by floor. It was like you're walking into a red, hot oven. And I can only describe the things I saw as horrific. Yeah, it was horrific.
To get to the residents trapped across 24 floors, firefighters had to push themselves and their equipment to the limits.
Our breathing apparatus doesn't last forever, so we have to work out where we can send people to, how far they can get.
You know, firefighters have difficult decisions to make. I mean, very difficult decisions. You know, can you get them all out? Do you get some people to stay? Do you come back with some people? But before you get there, you can find a casualty and you've got to pull them out, or do you leave them? Do you send them out on their own? But this scale, Grenfell was massively different to any other job in terms of the volume of people.
The job was even more challenging because there was only one staircase for the whole building.
On the staircase, there was quite an overpowering, deafening sound of screaming, which was tough. There was a lot of falling debris. We had concerns about people who made jumps to try and get away from the fire. That just drove us on. That when you can hear those screams, that's you've got to get there. You've got to get there.
I remember carrying a young baby, probably 2 or 3 years old, and the mother. I picked him up from the 3rd floor stairwell, and she was just beside herself.
In the midst of the inferno, the very structure of the building became unsafe.
Get right back! Get right back now! For your own safety!
There was the potential for the boom to collapse.
You can hear bangs all the time, parts of the building falling down. So, yeah, that's going to put an element of fear into anyone.
We had no intention of coming out of there until we'd saved as many people as we could. And if it was going to collapse, then we were going to die trying. Every single person within that building was willing to lose their own life to try and save others. Every single person.
Outside, the falling debris was seriously hampering the rescue operation.
All the debris is falling on the floor, catching fire.
The debris was not just falling down the side of the building, it was being caught in the wind and it was travelling some distance. We had an aerial platform up on the east side of the building when we were there, providing some water, and it was a very dangerous place to be.
And in fact, there was a crew with a handheld hose who were firing water over his head to try and deflect debris from falling on him.
As dawn approached, 4 hours after the first 999 call, the fire was still spreading.
There was a point where Pat and I had a wordless moment and just sort of looked at each other, and we both knew that we were really struggling. We were really struggling to beat the fire. But the priority for us was there was people in there that needed us, and we were the only people that were going to be able to help.
Against all odds, the rescues continued.
One of my crews, between two of them, they were carrying a woman, and then they come across a woman and a child, and managed, again, I don't know how in all that heat and smoke, but managed to bring the two women and the child out, with one carrying the child, and sort of between them supporting and dragging the women down the stairs.
And throughout the night we kept bringing people out of there, but we were just permanently getting beaten back by the fire.
It was white hot. They were pinned to the floor. It was so hot. Heat rises, the temperature at the top of the room, if they'd have stood up, they would have instantly caught fire. And people were climbing the stairs and going onto the landings to carry out rescues on their bellies because it was that hot.
We knew that there was people that we were desperate to get. I had them in my head. I think I've still got them listed in my head of the people I want to get to. You always think you're going to win. Simple.
I didn't even notice it was daylight. Lost all track of time.
You know, there were firefighters laying about with haunted looks in their eyes. After 30 years in the London Fire Brigade, I didn't ever expect to see anything like that. And I pray to God I never will again.
In the days following the tragedy, the fire service and the police started the painstaking process of recovering the bodies of the victims.
I was sent specifically to a floor to deal with a number of casualties, deceased, and bring them back down. Every single room looked like a bomb had gone off in there. The thing with this, to be honest, is the fact that, you know, it's happened, and it did mess me up a little bit, if I'm honest, and messed me up a little bit.
At least 80 people are currently thought to have died in the tragedy. It's the UK's biggest loss of life in a fire since the Second World War. The final death toll remains unknown.
I've been back, and I went to the wall that they've got and paid my respects, which I think a lot of firefighters did. And while I was there, I spoke to some people in the community, and they were just, you know, they were amazing. I can't imagine what it's like for them. How does a community deal with something so big? You know deep down professionally, you know deep down you did everything and more, but it doesn't make you feel any better.
There is a feeling of being extremely proud of what we did and how hard everyone worked. But there's also that horrific feeling of we didn't get everybody. And we tried really hard.
Tragedies on the scale of Grenfell Tower are once-in-a-lifetime incidents. But for all of us, an ordinary day can take a dangerous turn at any time. And when it does, London Fire Brigade is on the front line of keeping over 8 million Londoners safe every day. They deal with over 20,000 fires a year.
Hello, Fire Brigade.
Hello, we have a fire in our kitchen, in our oven.
All incidents start with a 999 call to the control centre in Merton.
Hello, Fire Brigade. How can I help you?
Oh, hi, there's a large fire.
Can you see what's on fire?
Yeah, it's a block of flats, which is burning vigorously at the moment.
How tall is it? Like a high-rise block?
3-storey.
We've got fire engines on way. Thanks for calling.
With a call about an explosion in a block of flats, the nearest stations are automatically alerted. And firefighters are out of the door in 60 seconds, including crew manager Alan Jones, a few miles away.
We don't know what's exploded. In this day and age, you could be turning up from a gas explosion to a terrorist attack. The biggest concern is to make sure everyone is safe and well and away from the incident.
Breaking news in the last few minutes, an explosion at a block of flats. Police have yet to confirm the cause, though inquiries are underway. Local road closures are in place.
It's after 5 o'clock. The fire is spreading, and there's every likelihood that people are trapped inside. 70 firefighters and 10 fire engines from local stations are racing to the scene. With 8 flats already destroyed, hundreds of tenants have been evacuated.
We've got babies in that block, we've got elderly people in the block, there's all sorts of people in there, no one needs this.
I've never felt anything like it in all my life, to be honest. Like there was a rumble through the whole building, you know?
It's impossible to know if everyone is out, which is added pressure for Alan and the crew to stop the fire.
The structure's been compromised on the side as well now, not just the back here. And it looks like the fire's starting to spread to the loft space. So we might have to peel the roof off. Yeah.
Crews are pushing the fire back, but with smoke masking the flames, they need thermal cameras to find it. In house fires, most deaths are caused by smoke inhalation. It can kill in a matter of minutes. If anyone's trapped inside, firefighters must act fast. Crews are preparing to go in. Firefighter Greg Lessons is on the scene and responsible for monitoring his team's air supply. Each tank only lasts 31 minutes.
When you think people are in there, it changes absolutely everything. It goes from just a building that you could possibly save to a life or lives that you could save.
As they get closer to the fire, temperatures are well over 100 degrees Celsius.
That's pretty heavy, son. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah. I'm on the right hand wall, mate.
As his team searches through the smoke, it's an anxious wait for Greg.
When you're in a smoke-filled room, there's zero visibility. You literally cannot see the hand in front of your face. And it's the most disorientating feeling there is. It's quite a lonely feeling, actually, because you're completely detached from the outside world.
I'm on the right hand wall, mate.
Whilst the search continues, the paramedics treat those that have escaped.
People are walking around in a daze, you know, they don't know what's happened. They don't even know they're cut or they've broken limbs and stuff.
Just a bit of a shock. Didn't think we were going to get out. Every time I breathed in, it was burning. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate.
Failing to find anyone, they're calling in the specialists.
The belt and braces is just around the dog and sleep.
Just in that area.
Terry Gooding from Urban Search and Rescue.
At the moment, we're in a situation where we've got one person who's actually still potentially unaccounted for.
Terry's partner is a veteran of over 100 search and rescue missions. Kirby, a 6-year-old Springer Spaniel.
What we're going to do is we're going to send a dog in there who's trained to pick up human scent. That will give us a definite answer as to whether anyone's in there. The dogs are highly trained, even down to the fact that they wear little boots on their feet so that they don't injure themselves on any sharps, glass. They're trained to work in those environments, pretty much like you'd see in an earthquake situation. The dog will be looking for human scent. It will then indicate to the dog handler that it's got what we call a hit, which basically means it's found someone.
And it's not just the residents the firefighters are struggling to find.
The main bit of the fire is in this cavity wall. It's got in between the skin and the internal cavity.
We've got timber, brick, insulation. What's happening is the insulation between the brick and the timber is smouldering.
We're going to lose the whole lot, aren't we? We're going to lose the whole lot.
With flames now hidden inside the walls, crew manager Joe Munro is going up on a 106-foot aerial platform to find the fire. They need to get to the seat of the fire, brick by brick.
Smoke is hot, and you've got that coming out at you. That's the horrible thing with fire. At the end of the day, it's a beast. It will grab whatever it can and not stop until we get there.
Are they going to try and get water down into the cavity from above? They've made a bigger hole there.
As Alan controls the aerial platform, Joe hoses inside the wall with 2,300 litres of water per minute.
We are breaking the back of it now. So there's a lot of smoke coming out still. You're sort of confined to a small area, and with two of us up there and the equipment, it's not a very big cage. So you're limited to your movement.
It seems like they've sort of flooded it from above now, so it's a structural nightmare now.
At the moment, it's structurally unsafe for anyone. So I can't do that's a for you to check at present.
There may be people still inside, and a final search is needed. This is a job for the more light-footed member of the crew, Kirby. If he catches a human scent inside, he'll stay in the building and bark to alert his handler, Terry.
Well done, you.
No, nothing pulling him in there.
All right. That pretty much gives us the confidence we need to say that there's no one else in there now.
A number of flats are condemned, and the residents will have to leave.
Yeah, just want to escort these ladies.
Can you just flash it that way so I can see the block from my lab?
2300. Right, if you think of what you need, did you find your cat?
I found my cat, he's in here. He's called Nelson.
Are you happy that you found him?
Oh, I'm so happy. Over the moon. Really happy.
You're being so kind, thank you.
Where are you going tonight, do you know?
Holiday Inn, they booked us in.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Honestly, really appreciate it.
The cause of the explosion is part of an ongoing investigation.
Have a fly, mate, well done. Good effort.
It's been a challenging 5 hours for Alan and Joe.
Every fire's different. Every day's different. Anything can happen.
This is when we all come together and everyone starts working well together.
If I didn't love my job, I wouldn't do it. The money's not great, but the reward is unbelievable.
Although tragically people lost their homes, the brigade was able to ensure there were no fatalities.
Hi, Brigade.
Yes, I'm standing on the main road and I can see it bellowing from behind the houses, and like the whole street is like kind of covered in smoke.
The London Fire Brigade responds to over 20,000 fires each year, caused by everything from a candle left burning to an electrical fault.
Hiya, can I have a fire brigade cars on fire?
But more than ever, the brigade is being called to road traffic collisions. This year, they've attended 4,500. Almost daily, specialist units are deployed to cut someone out of a car, as well as carrying out many other rescues. These units are strategically spread across London alongside conventional firefighting teams, ready to rush to an accident at a moment's notice. This unit in Battersea, South London, is run by Edric Kennedy McFoy. Being in peak condition is key for their job.
Tom, he keeps on telling me, stop growing your biceps. These are just natural. I hardly train bicep, but they just grow. You like that? Come on.
All of London's 102 stations are equipped with gyms.
We've got to make sure we're operationally ready for any eventuality that we may be faced with. Firefighter fit, always ready.
Firefighter McGuire. Sir. Firefighter McDonald. Sir. Firefighter O'Connor. Sir.
Today, Edric's starting a shift with his Blue Watch team.
Firefighter Tal. Firefighter Axmoyne. Sir.
Blues Brilliant. 2 duties, 4 out.
Station manager Dave Waterman is prepping his crew ready for the first call.
Well, we've just come on duty, so we're testing all the equipment on the appliance, doing inventory, make sure everything's there. Everyone's getting ready, so you see Dan over there. On the other side of the pump ladder there, you've got his twin brother Mark. We sometimes mix the two of them up, quite obviously. That's Tom. Tom's the driver of the pump ladder, and you can see there's a fine figure of a man, look, you know, officer and a gentleman, commander-in-chief. Apart from that, it's all ready to go, right.
Edric heads up one of the 3 specialist rescue units serving London.
This is it, right here, the fire rescue unit. This is my baby. It isn't your normal pumping appliance, so we don't carry any water, but what we do have is specialist equipment. We specialise in road traffic collisions. We've got a boat for water rescues. We deal with everything, but obviously we've got no water media to extinguish any fire, because that's not what we do.
When people are trapped, rescue units across London get the call. And one has just come in.
To news breaking with 5 people trapped, 40 people injured after a tram overturned in a tunnel in Croydon, which is down in South London. This coming from the LFB London Fire Brigade. We'll get more details on that story just as soon as we can.
Stations around the capital are being mobilised. The tram crash they're heading to is the UK's biggest transport incident since the 7/7 bombings and involves a significant loss of life.
We are on scene at Dowling King, Channel 5.
Serial 39 XB Bravo at Croydon Public Morgue. We are here with them.
It was shortly after 6 o'clock in the morning. 999 crews from across South London converged on Sandylands.
In Croydon, South London, a tram has crashed. It's the biggest transport incident the emergency services have had to deal with in over a decade.
I am just east of Croydon in the Sandylands area. I'm standing just south of a huge police cordon. It's got police officers, fire engines, the lot.
There are reported fatalities and many injured. Hundreds of firefighters from across London are on the scene. 9 miles away in Battersea, crew manager Edric and his specialist rescue unit are being mobilised.
There are quite a few trapped casualties and deceased, so we need to get there ASAP and do whatever we can to assist.
Edric's team is heading to the crash as it enters a delicate phase. Their specialist skills are needed to retrieve the deceased from the wreckage.
Just because the person's deceased doesn't mean you can just, pick them up and just throw them in a bag. We do everything, carefully and with love.
Make your way up there and basically see where the guy's standing in the orange. Yep. Straight down there, and that's where the incident is. Okay.
In my 11 years in this job, I've never witnessed anything on this scale. I've never been to a derailment before. So this is my first one.
Good morning. A number of people have been taken to hospital with injuries, and sadly we can say that there has been some loss of life. We are working hard to assess...
There are 51 people injured, and the death toll stands at 7. The London Mayor, Sadiq Khan, arrives to lend support to emergency workers. Many have already played their part, but the challenge for Edric and his team is just beginning.
Right now, there are, I believe, 2 casualties, or 2 victims still trapped. So we just need to release their bodies so we can send them off, basically. Yeah.
What's the plan for lifting it? Airbags on the side. Yeah. Lift it out, clear the bodies. I think it's probably going to be about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, possibly building them 2 hours even before we do that. Yeah.
Battersea Blue Watch manager Dave Waterman oversees the teams.
We're going to use heavy lifting airbags to slightly lift the tram, pivot it on one point on that side to give us enough space to retrieve the casualties.
Anyone not being used, can you clear the area, please? Train clear!
At the end of the day, that's someone's mum, dad, brother, sister. I like to show respect and deal with them as if I was dealing with one of my own.
Is everyone ready? Rise!
It's now 5 p.m, 11 hours after the tram derailed.
Got broken glass everywhere, twisted metal, the track itself. We've got to be very careful in our lift and in our removal of that casualty, because the last thing we want to do is cause them any more harm. The fact that it's in a precarious position means that the distribution of the weight is going to be all over the place. Anything can happen.
What's your assessment, Tony?
You'll definitely.
Okay. We've lifted the tram by 3 or 4 inches, which has given us enough room there to free the final 2 casualties. One of those has just been released and recovered from the train, and the final one is about to be recovered.
What gets me is the fact that, they woke up this morning and they didn't know that today was going to be their last day. They didn't know they weren't going to see their family again, and they didn't know they were going to meet such a tragic end. And the fact that something like this can happen to anyone, it's quite scary, actually, isn't it? It was very graphic. Those are images that, will stay with me for the rest of my life.
I just want to make sure, guys, because I know you've been here a long time, and I really appreciate some of you have been here since early hours of this morning. We've obviously taken out the last of the fatalities. I just wanted to get everyone together and just obviously very appreciative of your work. You've been here a long time. Yeah? Excellent. Let's go.
I'm sure we'll go back to the station now and we'll talk about it, and that helps to ease what you've seen. But this is life and death.
Breezy weather, mostly clear for bonfire night, some patchy cloud and light winds, a low of 4 degrees Celsius.
After years of safety campaigns, bonfire night is often surprisingly quiet for fire crews. But not this evening. A call has just come in.
Hello, Fire Brigade.
Hello, it's a really emergency. We've got fire everywhere coming up.
Yeah, okay, so on their way now. It's a 109, get ahead of us.
There are reports of a large fire in a flat in North London. When there's a big incident, borough commanders like Richard Welsh, also known as Rocky, are called in.
As a group manager, I'll go to incidents of 4 fire engines or more. From the time that the pager goes off, the adrenaline starts. You're thinking about what you expect to see when you get there. We know that this is a fire in a domestic property, and the fact that we've got 6 fire engines there means it's quite a substantial fire.
As Richard arrives, there are now 8 fire engines and nearly 60 firefighters at the scene.
Oh, guys, can we get a map up of this area just so we can see?
With any serious incident, operations are run from a mobile command unit. From here, Richard coordinates the firefighters and local traffic.
There must be a
station.
Yeah.
And this is a 24-hour route, this road here.
All walks are done out lower ground. It's not going either side. And the lower ground's gone. So there's nothing to save down there. So you just go right through?
This is basement.
Yeah, is that one big room that goes right through the back? If it does,
I don't think it's one big room.
but what I'm saying, if we can get a flow through there, we can push it all out. Just literally get in there, pushing out the back door, get the smoke out. Because we've got a fire on the lower ground floor and the first floor, as you can see, the smoke is getting pushed right through the building. As incident commander at my level, we're quite often not the one actually in the throat of the fire. It's a lot of responsibility. We have injuries, it's a dangerous job. But my responsibility is to make sure that the firefighters go home at the end of the day.
Flames are now raging at the rear of the flat, but fire engines can't reach it.
What's the temperature off the GTR this evening? We need to get some water down here. We need to get 2 machines at the front of the building over.
Fire spreads in seconds, so we need to get water into that premises as quickly as possible.
We've got no water here, we've got BA, we need a machine to supply water.
But at the minute, we don't know if anyone's inside or what's caused the fire. I hope to God there's no one in it.
It's bonfire night. A flat in North London is ablaze, and it's feared the owners are trapped inside. The fires spread to the back, but firefighters can't get a pump to it. Borough Commander Richard Welsh is overseeing the teams. With occupants missing, he's sending in firefighters wearing breathing apparatus, or BA.
I'll get a little board set up with each image out.
The windows are fouled. There's a lot of flame coming out of the back. The problem around the back is access. We need to get a fire engine as close as we can to supply the water to fight the fire at the back.
Finally, the crew get some good news.
I spoke to a member of the police. They were saying that they've spoken to one of the local residents. They believe that the occupiers are on holiday and not in.
Being on holiday, they're thousands of miles away. Must be absolutely awful for them not knowing what's happening to their home.
But the danger to other residents is by no means over.
It's really important we get water to the fire as quickly as possible. London's a very built-up area, so we have a lot of properties really close together, so fire can spread really quickly.
One of the cars are getting some water here.
Yeah, we're still waiting for water, over.
Every second counts when it comes to us getting water from the hydrant to the fire.
BA crew, knock it down quick, get in as far as you can, let me know what's going on, and I'll maybe commit crews above you after it's out.
Hey, you got a lot of flames on your left, eh? On your left.
Ultimately, fire is a killer, and it's a breathing, living thing. If you take it for granted, that's when injuries and accidents happen.
Richard's team is battling temperatures in excess of 600 degrees Celsius.
Come back, come lower, it's that firefighter above your head, it's going up the stairwell.
Yeah, get down. Stay down.
Start knocking out that stairwell.
Yeah, go.
After 2.5 hours of hosing, the flames are finally dying out. It's thought the fire was started by a firework thrown into the back of the flat.
Around bonfire night, young people find fireworks quite exciting, but they don't always realise the dangers that go with them. And certainly if it's house fires, they lose things that they can't ever replace, and that's priceless. But the blessing really is the fact that nobody was in there, nobody got injured. That's the most important thing.
I want to get home because I left the front door open. I ran out.
The Croydon tram service was back in operation, but the area around the derailment remained sealed off as rail accident branch inspectors and forensic teams continued their investigation.
In Battersea, Edric and Blue Watch are together for the first time since the tram crash. All firefighters are offered counselling, but many prefer to deal with it amongst themselves.
You'd see that type of incident a handful of times in a 30-year career.
I struggled a bit yesterday, personally, but, you know, collectively as a team we worked well together, and, yeah, proud of all of you boys who attended.
The thing that gets me is when you see like their mobile phones and they're on the floor and then they're lighting up with people trying to call them and stuff like that, and obviously you can't touch them. It's like thinking, trying to get hold and find out about their loved ones.
Yeah, it just makes it that little bit more personal.
And the IDs, you know, handbags, identification. You know, when the evil eye picked up an ID and just read out the name, it just made it even more real for me then, because, you know, that's a person. Dealing with what we have to deal with, just knowing you've got the support of your colleagues, your friends, you know, behind you, that makes all the difference.
There was a group of deceased that you could see that they were probably standing next to each other on the tram. You may get on the train at the same time, you may see the same people, you know, every day, and now you see these people in that position. It's thought-provoking, you know, but you can't be morbid all the time. You have to have a bit of.
Today's a different day. It could happen again tomorrow, and you've just got to make each day count. In this job, camaraderie is very important because, you know, we're a team at the end of the day, and, you know, we've got each other's back. And we get each other through.
Recently, the London Fire Brigade responded to one of the most devastating fires in living memory. The Grenfell Tower fire is a once-in-a-generation tragedy. But for all of us, an ordinary day can take a dangerous turn at any time. and the London Fire Brigade deals with 4 serious incidents daily.
Fire here! Well, what's your address? Fire here! What's your address? Let's give me your postcode.
Almost 500 emergency calls are made daily to the Merton Control Centre in southwest London.
Hello, Fire Brigade.
Hello, there's a big fire in the Enzo Garden Centre in Harmondsworth.
I can see a massive black plume of smoke. I'm at least a mile away and I can see the flames.
In the control centre today, over 20 calls are coming in of a major emergency.
All right, it's a big one. You have to hurry up, please.
All right, no problem. We're on the way.
There's a raging fire in West Drayton near Heathrow, visible for several miles. 15 stations are being mobilised. Borough commanders like Andy Kane from Richmond, South London, are called in when it's a major incident.
Been in the fire service for 27 years. Since 2003, I've been a senior officer.
One from Watchman Johansson at Ansel Garden Centre, a garden centre of approximately 50 by 50 metres, 80% alight.
We need a road closure from the bottom of Harmondsworth Road.
100 firefighters are on the scene, whilst Andy assesses the dangers facing them.
The 2-storey building's now showing significant signs of collapse, so we can't actually get good access now to the rear. We're working on it to try and cut our way through the fence at the back, so it's a bit dynamic and a bit of work in progress.
A police helicopter is their eye in the sky, and as the firefighters move in, it makes a terrifying discovery.
We're picking up quite a large quantity of LPG cylinders within the grounds. Are they aware of that? Over.
At the rear of this building, you see the 2-storey building, there's large bulk LPG storage. They call them bullets. They're large containers of liquefied petroleum gas. And should the fire start getting towards those, we have a large possibility of an explosion.
To make matters worse, there are 2 large containers of fireworks. If one of the gas cylinders blows, it could trigger further explosions.
12
So this is what we're working hard to do now, is to try and stop the fire impinging on these cylinders. That's our major priority at the moment.
Incidents like this are one of the most dangerous firefighters can attend. In 2006, 2 firefighters lost their lives where a large container with fireworks inside detonated. You know, those sort of incidents are very much at the forefront of our minds. If they're not managed correctly, the outcomes can be devastating.
With the M4 just 800 metres away, if a gas canister explodes, it could cause a chain reaction that could wreak havoc. "24 miles away in Shoreditch, East London."
Hello, Officer to Watch, it's Steve Dudney, Foxtrot 110, duty ILO here.
Borough Commander Steve Dudney has just started his shift. After 31 years in the service, he retires next year.
Cheers, bye. I joined in 1987, firefighter at Bethnal Green. That was my first posting. As a kid growing up in the East End, you saw lots of fires, lots of old derelict buildings, riverside warehouses, and I think like all little kids, I really wanted to be a fireman and never grew out of it.
Steve is now mainly office-bound, but as a senior manager, he still gets called to serious incidents.
A 406 North Circular Road, motor car and 1 van in collision. 1 person trapped.
The trapped victim may have life-threatening injuries, so they've closed the North Circular, one of the busiest roads in London.
Just for your information,
we've got an occupied side of the car, we've got a traffic diversion coming in up and over the top.
OK, cheers. All right.
3 units from Edmonton Red Watch are at the scene. With potentially serious spinal injuries, they can't risk moving the passenger before the ambulance arrives.
We asked for an ETA through our control centre. We're assuming about half an hour from what we've been told.
The 3 fire engines may have to cut the passenger out, so can't leave the scene.
The fact that we are tied up at an incident does, of course, have an impact. Someone could be trapped in a fire somewhere that we don't get to quick enough and they could die. So it's an hour and 40 minutes now. Yeah, it's like the third world, isn't it? The ambulance that was almost here, that was at the top of the road, that's been diverted to a cardiac arrest call somewhere else. So now we've got no ambulance again.
"24 miles away in West Drayton, fire is getting dangerously close to a large amount of gas cylinders and containers with fireworks.
So LFB know that it's so hot, it's flaring out our IR camera.
There's the possibility of a serious explosion threatening nearby traffic and pedestrians. The cylinders urgently need to be cooled, but it's too risky for firefighters to be near them, so Borough Commander Andy has them set up ground monitors.
A ground monitor is like a big hose, the end of a hose, a nozzle. It sits on the floor, so it doesn't have to have a firefighter holding it, and it moves a lot of water through it, and you can aim it, but you can leave it. The beauty is you walk away and leave it.
Yeah, LFB, obviously you're getting a downlink. There's quite a few other gas canisters, which looks like the fire's moving towards. There's a wooden shed with other gas canisters around the outside of it.
At major fires, the Borough Commander has to constantly assess the risk to the firefighters. That's at least 100 lives in Andy's hands.
It feels to me now we need to stop doing that. Leaving all our monitors and stuff. We're removing all the crews from the hazard area, so we're going to pull back to where the command unit is.
We all start off as firefighters. I think that's really, really important for an officer to have done that. I certainly wouldn't ask anyone to do something I wouldn't do myself.
You see there's multiple cylinders now from our angle, directly behind the fire.
The crews need huge amounts of water to extinguish the fire and keep cooling the gas cylinders to stop them from exploding. But their fire trucks only hold 6 minutes worth of water, so they need access to hydrants, urgently.
The water supplies in the area are really poor, so our crews are trying to secure a better water supply to the scene.
With a limited supply of water, the fire crew take the decision to focus their hoses on the gas cylinders in the hope of keeping them from exploding.
This is probably the distance we do in case they go bang, we don't want to be above it over.
This is about as hazardous as it gets.
From the Time 107.5 newsroom, around 100 firefighters are tackling a blaze at a garden centre in West Drayton. The blaze can be seen by motorists on the M4 heading past Heathrow. Fire crews have set up a 300-metre cordon around the area.
In West London, a large garden centre is ablaze. Firefighters are being pulled back as gas cylinders on site are getting dangerously hot and could explode.
This is probably the distance we do in case they go bang, we don't want to be above it over.
At the rear of that two-storey building is where the major hazards are for us. We have a possibility of an explosion. So that's what we're working hard to do, is to try and put enough water onto the fire to stop it impinging on these hazards.
The fire truck's water tanks are now empty, and with a poor water supply on the outskirts of London, they're struggling to get the flames under control.
In central London, you've got hydrants almost on every corner. However, when you come a little bit further out, water supply is reduced, and sometimes we're forced to do something called a water relay.
Watch manager Bill Virtue and his crew are daisy-chaining 4 fire engines together from a hydrant a mile away to boost the water pressure.
So we get water from the hydrant, goes to the first fire engine, pump in the fire engines, increases that pressure and passes it onto the second, onto the third, and finally onto the base pump, which then feeds the hose, ground monitors, actually putting the fire out.
The hoses are being laid by the LFB from the high street all the way to the scene.
Hands up! Hands off! They are getting very, very hot, the gas cylinders, the ones closest to the building fire. Yeah, can you just confirm that the LFB controls centre is getting our down, please?
I've got water ready. Let's give the instant glass of water. Let's go.
Now, with enough water, Andy's crews can start to tackle the blaze.
So now we're basically flooding the incident with an aerial ladder platform and ground monitors. We're making some really good progress. The main fire's been knocked down, and because of the extra water now we've got to the scene, yeah, we're quite comfortable that this is under control. We haven't injured any firefighters. We've extinguished what was a very hazardous fire, so we've done well.
Serious incidents like this test the fire brigade to its very limits. Tonight is a success. All the firefighters return home safely, and the public are kept out of harm's way.
Personally, I find it very, very rewarding, taking that chaos and making it okay.
The fire has obliterated the garden centre, making it impossible to determine what caused the blaze.
The crews have worked really, really hard. They've done really well.
Yeah, they have a single incident response officer on way, but there is no ambulance to send at this time. Over.
In North London, Borough Commander Steve Dudney is at a road traffic accident. A young woman is trapped in a car with suspected spinal injuries.
This is the longest I've waited for an ambulance in 30 years in the fire service. That's no disrespect to LAS, that's just the situation they're in.
His crew have been waiting over 2 hours for an ambulance.
It's frustrating for all three emergency services, still waiting to get her out of the car and getting her off to hospital.
Yeah. Is that a single crew motor?
Yeah, LAS single crew paramedic now in attendance.
Right, thank you.
There's still no ambulance, but a single paramedic arrives to assess the injuries.
Is there a vehicle dispatched, over?
A wrong move could leave the passenger paralysed. The safest option to get her out is to cut the roof off, ready for the ambulance.
We basically take the car apart around her until we're at such a point as that we can bring her out flat with her neck and back secure and not making the injuries any worse.
We're keeping two of the main pillars intact. Once the ambulance gets here and we know we're ready, we'll take the last two pillars out and then the roof will be ready to come off.
We've just gone as far as we can. It would be unfair to cut that roof off now and leave the young lady exposed to the elements.
As time goes on, the pressure is mounting for Steve.
With the latest travel, I'm Hayden Jevons. On the North Circular Road, the entrance is blocked in both directions due to a crash. That's resulting in traffic being stopped and motorists are being advised to avoid the area.
The North Circular Road is a major road in London, which we've now got shut already. Tailbacks, they're probably going back a couple of miles in each direction.
One of them coming right down. Going down this carriageway.
After 3 hours, the crews can finally remove the roof.
We know that ours is one of the most important jobs in the country because from time to time we're called to do a really difficult job.
In the last few years, the London Fire Brigade has had its budget cut by £45 million at a time when the city is facing more serious incidents than ever before.
Firefighter jobs have gone, fire stations have shut, fire engines have been removed. Thankfully, we in the fire brigade can still respond to everything we get called to, but you wouldn't have to go much further to end up in a position where we're starting to say, sorry, we haven't got a fire engine to send you, and that would be a really bad day.
The passenger is taken to hospital, where her spine will be scanned for injuries.
It's just, it's life in London. It's another day in the big city.
Car extractions are almost a daily occurrence for the brigade. But for the more technically demanding jobs, they have specialist rescue teams.
Guys, how are we getting on?
Like this one in Battersea.
Are we ready to lift?
Yeah, good.
Yeah? Okay.
Up on yellow.
Their rescue unit is run by 33-year-old Edric Kennedy McFoy in his first leadership role after 11 years on the pumps.
I'm a crew manager, so I'm in charge, overseeing the incident. I set objectives, I make the plan, and you're also responsible for keeping your crew safe. Jamie, tell them what it's all about.
Safely up, safely down.
You're so cute. Safely up, safely down, baby.
It's a lovely tan you've got there, Chris.
I've been in Lanzarote for a couple of weeks.
The browner, the better.
Is that what you think when you're cooking your tofu?
The teams cover 12-hour shifts. They work and train together, and even take it in turns to cook.
Chris, you've been away. What are your opinions on Ed's conversion to veganism?
I think whatever he wants to do is absolutely fine.
My whole life, I've been a meat eater. You know, I've never thought about how this food gets on my plate. And it made me ask myself the question, do I think my life is worth more than an animal's just because I'm a human being? And the answer was no.
Boring!
They're taking the mick back there already, you know, boring, vegan.
No, do you know what? I'm going to give it 6 months.
I think he's going to stick to it. You've got to support him.
Thanks, Wally.
A few miles away, a semi-detached house is on fire. The crew have just minutes to get there. But Edric's specialist rescue team isn't needed.
That's why we do the job, because we want to be out there helping people.
Oscar Golf 5933 and Oscar 420 all status to be received.
That building there, isn't it, on the right?
Flames have taken hold in the living room, and it's close to engulfing the whole house. It could soon spread to neighbouring homes.
You all right, you on, yeah? Yeah. Just chef in for night.
All right, mate.
The crew hose from the outside, delivering 1,400 litres of water per minute before it's safe for firefighters to go in with breathing apparatus. The house belongs to someone firefighters would classify as a hoarder. They keep a record of such homes because the sheer volume of flammable material means fire can spread fast and with devastating results.
I've got a BRIGADE crew in on the ground floor. They just put the fire out onto the first floor.
Has it gone up to? It's gone up the first.
Don't know yet, mate.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Oh, okay.
The owner has managed to escape from the burning house. He's lucky to get away with only minor injuries.
These window frames are starting to go again. Guys inside, can you ever go to window frames? Window frames are starting to catch.
The crew must keep cooling down the walls to stop them bursting back into flames and prevent the fire from spreading to next door. The homeowner has lived in this house since he was born.
It's heartbreaking in a way because everything he owns is here. And it seems heartless us just dragging it out. We've got to move it to make sure the fire's out.
It's thought that just a single bar from the owner's gas heater sparked the fire.
You do feel sorry for the person after any fire. It's their whole life just gone up in smoke, really. So yeah, you do feel for them.
Guys, we'll pack away and then we'll just have a quick debrief, yeah?
Back at base, Edric's specialist rescue team is finishing up training. Their unit is called out to less incidents than the pump vehicles.
I became a firefighter to run into that building and save a life when everyone's running out, you know, so you no longer do that.
If Edric wants to fight more fires, he'll have to move to another station and be on a pump vehicle.
It's a hard call to make because I love where I work, I love Battersea, I love the Blue Watch, but at the same time, you know, you've got to think about my future. So, you know, this is a decision that I'm currently toying with in my little head.
Whilst Edric is keen for more calls, there are some the London Fire Brigade would rather avoid.
Hello, Fire Brigade, how can I help you?
Well, I have very, very large friend up street. He is very large, yeah? Very large friend, yeah?
Yes.
Very large, yeah? In three.
He's stuck in the tree.
Yes. I want ambulance, please.
You want an ambulance?
Ambulance. Hurry up, bitch.
While firefighters deal with life and death,
Fire Brigade?
of the 170,000 emergency calls each year, almost 7,000 are hoax calls.
Hello, Fire Brigade.
Right, can I buy more ambulance because my cat Rod is stuck up the tree?
Right, okay. Is this a serious call?
Yeah, he's stuck.
Right, okay, I think this is a hoax call. Alright, so I'm ending this call, okay?
You're ugly.
Sorry?
You're ugly, you are.
Right, okay, thank you, bye.
It's the start of a new shift in Battersea, and the rescue unit are waiting for their next call.
All good.
With Edric away, crew manager Chris Haywood is in charge.
Ed, he's on a 3-day IEC course, the first day we do. So I'm in charge of the FIU today. It's a role that myself and Ed share quite a bit. When I first came here, I had quite a few RTAs, you know, taking roofs off cars, things like that. Ed hasn't had as much of that recently. I think he's definitely looking forward to, you know, effectively getting his teeth stuck in something quite interesting.
Fire Brigade. Hi there, I'm calling about an emergency for the Fire Brigade. There is like a river of water here, running like a river on the street.
Chris and the specialist unit respond to the flood emergency 9 miles away in North London.
One 30-inch water main burst. Crews assisting Met Police with the evacuation of approximately 350 members of public.
With hundreds of basement flats at risk of flooding, the crew has a major incident on their hands, as people could be in danger of drowning. In North London, flooding has wreaked havoc on the streets, submerging them in up to a metre of water.
Excuse me, miss. Pavement, please.
Across the city, the brigade attends 15 to 20 floods a day.
From the Time 107.5 newsroom, in Stoke Newington, the High Street and Northwold Road are closed due to severe flooding in the area.
In the street just up here on our left, there's a ruptured water main. It's obviously filled the street and it's filling out along here as well.
Chris and his rescue unit from Battersea are on the scene.
And we're going to go down in our dry suits, clearing any buildings, basements that are down there.
30% of call-outs the fire brigade attends are to non-fire incidents requiring specialist teams. 350 people have been evacuated, and streets are made a no-go area as the firefighters ensure the public are safe from danger.
It's just unbelievable. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. It's crazy.
With gallons of water pouring out onto the streets, there's a serious risk of drowning.
Batsy, we're going to take the south side, which is this side. We go down there and work out there's any life involved, try and get them out as well.
A basement flat is rapidly filling with water, and there are fears people could be trapped inside.
Floods, especially in London, are potentially massively dangerous. Basement flats, obviously, they're below ground, so to exit your flat, your options are quite limited. So we need to get in there and get them out pretty sharpish.
With the road now more like a river, just getting to the basement flat is a serious hazard for Chris and his team.
If there's a drain cover is off, that creates effectively a hole for us to fall into. Because they are person size and you can just go straight down there. Well, yes. Do me a favour, can you just go into the basement, just have a look down the steps.
See how deep it is in the basement.
To try and work out a depth.
Okay.
All right? Don't go down there in the water at the moment, okay?
Yes. The flat's owner, Michael, has rushed to the scene.
Photographs and things like that.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand that.
Treasures and things that, but yeah.
Does anybody live here? No one lives downstairs.
No.
That's a bed in there.
I know. It's not used. Nobody in there. Don't worry. 100%.
No, it's just something we just have to ascertain. That's all. When we're searching somewhere, if someone's already told us that there's no one in there, we're still going to go in and search it. People can just crop up in odd places you don't expect. Because at the end of the day, if there's anyone left in there, it's on me as a team leader. There's a step just here. We're still conducting a search of a lot of small rooms at the moment.
Yeah, well, be very careful there, boys.
Anywhere where there's deep water, there's going to be risks. Is that the other side of the door, is it? You never know what's floating around. You just don't know what you're going down into.
And hopefully that's all clear. There's nothing unexpected there. Over.
With the search over, Michael can go back into his home.
I don't know where to start first. I don't dare to open the cupboard. These photographs came back to childhood for my family and discs and records and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But it's a shock, to say the least. Yeah.
I can't personally imagine what it would be like to lose everything you have. It's got to be hugely distressing for them. I'm not entirely sure I'd cope if I lost pictures of my daughter, which I could never get back.
With the water subsiding, Chris's job leading the rescue team is over.
Hello, Fire Brigade.
Hi, good evening. I've just stopped driving and I saw a large amount of smoke.
Battling water or fire, the brigade have to put their lives on the line protecting the public.
I think it must be the printing press next door. Right, okay.
Different fires pose different problems and threats. One of the most hazardous fires is one that creates a backdraft. A fire that's consumed all the available oxygen, reducing it to smoke, is a ticking time bomb. If a rush of air from opening a window or door hits the fire, it will ignite with an explosive force. This is a backdraft.
Hello, London Fire Brigade.
Hi, there's a fire that's, when you think you leave the building, there's a fire that's just broken out opposite my flat in the building opposite me. It's a derelict building, it's a half-built building. We've just seen it erupt in flames in front of us.
A call has come in of an incident which has the potential for a backdraft. 6 fire engines from stations across North London are heading to the scene. Borough Commander Steve is also racing to the fire.
109, get rid of us.
We've been called to a building on fire and 20% of the top floors are light.
The block of flats are under construction and filled with tools and potentially flammable building materials.
We had a couple of local residents in one of the blocks further over, saw a flash of flame, got a BA crew have gone in, all we had was black smoke.
It's not clear exactly where the fire is in the building, so firefighters wearing breathing apparatus are heading in to search for it.
That loft is a closed space without much ventilation, and they've said to me that it's getting quite hot in there.
Rising temperatures could break the windows, putting the firefighters in more danger.
This is very typical of what would produce a backdraft. You've got a very hot fire that's used all the oxygen out.
That's not the only hazard for firefighters as they search for the seat of the fire.
In thick smoke like that, they can't see, they're blind, it's roasting hot. It's worse than putting them in an oven. The physiological stress on the firefighters working in those temperatures means they're burning their air up really quickly, and before you know it, they can become confused.
Well done.
The air tanks last just 31 minutes. Firefighters risk heat exhaustion with the rising temperatures.
Hot up there, wasn't it?
The crews rely on thermal cameras to see through the smoke, but they're struggling to find the fire.
Someone up there just get a name of the building.
We got to the second floor. We could see the fire behind us, but Lisa said you could see it in front of us. Right, as well, okay, so I think it's in the fabric of the roof then. Possibly, It's quite hard to see. It's very hard. All right, no problem. All right, well done. Thank you both. Cheers.
Steve heads next door to a neighbouring block to do some detective work.
So this is a duplicate of the compartment that's on fire next door. It's most likely, if you have a look at this, you can see you've got insulation material there, and the fire appears to be in this insulation material. It would be almost impossible to see in that thick smoke.
Insulation used in cavity walls can be flammable, but should be encased so that in theory fire can't reach it. With the building half finished, the insulation here is exposed.
If there's a ceiling in there already, it's inside a void.
His hunch pays off. The firefighters search behind the insulating panels in pitch black to get to the fire.
All those gases above you.
The crews are working in temperatures in excess of 600 degrees Celsius. Long exposure to heat like this can affect their reaction times, putting them in more danger.
The way I look at firefighting and the responsibility that's placed upon me, so I'd imagine if the firefighter's going into the fire, they might be my brothers or sisters. The expectation is that I'm there to look after them, and it's really important that that's at the front and centre of your mind.
It looks like the smoke's turned white, so it looks like they've found it.
White smoke is a sign that water is in contact with the fire.
You see that crew have just opened the window now, BA crew in there, just letting the residual smoke out of the lower floors. You wouldn't ever have expected this much material. It's obviously where the builders for this whole terrace of houses are keeping a lot of their insulation material, all of which is flammable. So the crews have done really, really well to keep hold of this fire, because that could have, you know, quite easily taken the roof off this property. I'm as impressed with the firefighters who are here tonight as I was with some of the people I looked up to who had been firefighters in the 50s and 60s, who were the senior firefighters when I joined. So I've still got that respect for everyone who does the job.
It's vegan day. It's vegan day.
After a few days away, Edric's back with his rescue unit in Battersea, yet again waiting for a call to come in.
Today, Stuart, we're doing a vegan mess. Yeah, the reason for this vegan mess is because
Is there any meat in it?
Boom.
Yay! Voila! Fortunately, in London, the kebab shop is never far away.
Jay, can you call it, please, bud?
Everyone's just gone running out of the building. Yeah, it's very nice.
Damn! Talk to me, Dave. Talk to me.
Not bad.
Why not bad? See this guy. Stu, what are you saying?
It actually tastes quite nice. I hate to say that.
Yeah, baby!
Because Edric's specialist rescue unit is called to fewer jobs, he's considering going back to firefighting. But this will mean moving to a different station.
I joined the fire service because I really wanted to make a difference, to change a life, to save a life. We want to be out there, putting our skills into practice.
It's up to Edric how his future will pan out. But for now, he has a more immediate problem. A passenger trapped in a car in North London. In North London, 2 cars have been involved in a crash.
There are 2 casualties in one car, 1 casualty in the other car.
Battersea's specialist rescue unit are on the scene, led by crew manager Edric. Passengers from one car are being taken to hospital. But in the other, the driver is trapped with suspected neck and spinal injuries.
Sorry, what's your name? Val, I'm Edric, okay? Edric, yeah. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to check up on my crew and I'll keep you updated when the paramedics are going to get here, okay? No worries, darling. All right, Val, cool.
With the paramedics en route, Edric gets his team ready to take the roof off.
But guys, can we just start with the chocking and blocking, stabilisation, all that, yeah? Once you've got the tools set up, straight roof off, yeah? Val, what we're doing now, we're just stabilising the vehicle, making it safe. So there's going to be some noise around you, and then we're going to have to cut the roof off, yeah? So nothing for you to worry about, because you're very safe. The job isn't just about cutting the roof off the car and getting them out. It's, you know, being there, comforting them, you know, casualty care. You know, so she just feels safe and secure, and that's a very important aspect of the job. Are you cold? Yeah, just put that on the arm, because I'm just thinking to myself, it's really cold. There you are. Yeah, just stay wrapped up nice and warm, because it's not summer. Okay.
Okay.
What are you thinking, mate?
So we're gonna. She said she's got no central back pain. She's got no neck pain.
Yeah.
So she's happy to walk, which she says she is. We're just gonna get her to sit on it, and then we're gonna
manoeuvre her from there. Okay. They've changed their minds. They're thinking maybe she might be able to get out. So if they can slide her out onto a chair, that's what they'll do. I'd like to put the tools to work and take the roof off, but What's paramount here is that Val is okay, you know? That's the main thing. Whether we get to take the roof off or not, the main thing is that Val's okay, and that's what we care about. Val, I didn't realise you were so tall. There's no training for dealing with members of the public in terms of empathy and understanding. Those are more things that you acquire in life, you know, and I try and comfort in any way I can. Put this over.
A little bit more.
Val, you take good care, okay? No worries, take care, yeah? The casualties are all out of the vehicle, they're all safe. They're in the hands of the LAS, so I'm happy with that. Our work here is done. We came out and we helped. I helped. That's all that matters for me. Yeah.
Being able to help people is the reason Edric joined the brigade, but he still has a big decision to take. Whether to leave for a busier firefighting unit or stay with Battersea's Blue Watch.
We'll get a frying pan out.
Oh, no.
Close the door. Yeah.
You know, the relationships I've built up at Battersea Blue Watch would definitely be a consideration when deciding to move or to stay. You know, the nature of the job is we've got each other's backs. You know, we're putting our lives in each other's hands. You know, I love the guys that I work with, so, you know, it'd be hard to leave here, if I'm honest. It's nice to come to work and, you know, not just love your job, but love the people you work with. Everything happens for a reason, and I believe that you are exactly where you're meant to be. So the fact that I'm here, for me, means I'm supposed to be here.